Libra, this is your rebirth reading. Excuse me. This concept is 2020 has been crazy. This whole quarantine thing is it's basically act as a stoppage of some sort of old way, so as to initiate a new way, is my thinking, and hence the whole rebirth. So in order for something to be reborn, something has to die, egoically, physically, tangibly, spiritually. And like I said with Virgo, this happens, I think, as a natural course of life. But I feel like possibly there are levels of awareness that you could try to employ, so as to just overall try to have some semblance of spirituality that's going to help you in your journey of life, and just overall help you to be a self-aware, good person, who's constantly growing and developing and maturing, and not really stifling themselves. So yeah. This is the Queen of Swords. This is Libra Virgo energy. Speaking of Libra and Virgo, it's cutting stuff out. So it's very much to do with the context of this reading. Things might stop and go externally in the public world, but internally you do have to make some cuts for things that are not benefiting you. You get the Five of Pentacles, possibly feeling left out in the cold here. This is Taurus energy. Typically depicted as two people outside of a church on a cold day. All they have to do is go inside that warm church. The church could be literally or proverbially the church of self, spirituality, religion even. Sometimes churches kind of trigger that in us. So when I go visit a bank or an actual church somewhere, I say a bank because in God we trust, right? At least the local branch that I got down the street has a lot of marble plating on the walls and lining the floors, so it gives a very church-like feel. I don't think that that's done coincidentally, but that's another story. So Libra, not for nothing, but speaking of trust, I think you gotta just employ a lot of trust in this whole rebirth process. And Queen of Swords is cutting things out. You want to be sure to use logic and reason and balance, calculation upon doing so. One of the only gripes with the Queen of Swords is that she's too quick to cut stuff out. So that's that. Emperor in the reverse. Interesting, because I thought you had this the other day in another reading. Feeling empowered, bossing up. But, if you're too hot-headed with the Queen of Swords, this could be taking you out of your power in some way, shape, or form. As well as possibly being too stubborn to proverbially go into that warm church, whether it be in some physical manifestation or spiritually. It's going to keep you disempowered if you don't. So whatever that warm church is for you, you gotta remember it's always there, and you're not left out in the cold. Five of Pentacles has to do with health. So for instance, the warm church would be like a hospital or some sort of like checkup. Money could be, the job or something. These are all concrete examples, but for the most part, the Five of Pentacles can be always applied spiritually as well to the intangible. Anything in the tarot can. Usually when the cards emerge in the reverse, this is it's more afforded to be able to do so interpretation wise, but it's always good to go into the Church of Self. With the Queen of Swords is also about communication, so you could be feeling like you're not being communicated with. You're not being told where something's at. But again, man, like my crazy self, I always interpret things spiritually. Like if you tune into your internal compass, you don't have to put the onus externally. You don't have to. You got the Page of Wands in the upright. This is youthful exuberance. It's funny because when I put these cards down and you stop looking at the situation this way, now the Queen is, looking away from the Five of Pentacles. Queen of Swords is very progressive. She's the most business-like of the queens in the deck. So the fact that she's looking at the Five of Pentacles, she's like, fuck all that noise. Because she's trying to head to her Ten of Pentacles. So this could be a rebirth in career as well. Which makes sense. I mean, there's nothing crazy there. Let's see. Yeah, doing reconnaissance, getting some intellect, getting some information here in that process. Could be some petty, objectionable energy. Page of Swords, more air energy, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. And that knowledge and information is going to be power. It's going to help you get out of any of this energy, which might be analysis by paralysis type, or vice versa. Primarily vice versa, paralysis by analysis. Tower moment, Libra. So yeah, something's going to shake your world up, if it hasn't already done so. But it's always for to advance you on your spiritual journey. Could be a lack of passion, could be a lack of intimacy, a lack of action here. But when you do take action in that which you're in control of, definitely helps speed the process of getting out of this energy. It could be like a loss of a job that you weren't really fucking with anyways. That Tower moment. The more I look at that Five of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands looking away. Five of Swords, conflict and ugliness. Anytime, like winning at all costs. Anytime I see this card, I always suggest to move away from this energy. And I kind of get that that's what the Queen of Swords is doing here. With that 5-on-5 crime. So you might just want to be that queen and look away and walk away. Head where you're looking. do not want to stick around in that ugly energy. It just doesn't end well with that Five of Swords. Yeah, Five of Pentacles again. It's that double confirmation hitter right there. Now, is that where you are? Physically? Spiritually? It's not where you want to be. Okay. Is it about being too prideful to go into that church? Is it about reaching that safe haven of the church? I mean, to me, the 5 and the 5 is 10 of Pentacles. So, I mean, I did say the Queen was looking away and looking towards the 10 of Pentacles, so. What of it? In any event, excuse me, if you don't dwell in this 5 of Swords ugliness, and if you take this Tower moment with a grain of salt, okay, know that it's going to destruct anything that is not serving yours or the highest creative collective good. You're not going to be able to reach your 5 of Pentacles with that tower still standing. It might even pose as an obstacle. Oof. Just keeping you from that King of Swords. Zoop. That's what she's looking at. And she's... the foundation is this 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is 401k, legacy, wealth, inherited wealth, retirement, the boat, the car, the house, kind of being set up, you know, a cornerstone financially, a foundation with this King of Swords here. So this is definitely a divine power couple. King of Swords is Capricorn Aquarius energy, and again, Queen of Swords is Libra Virgo. So she's looking to get that King of Swords, and it's a part of her like reawakening process, your reawakening process, non-gender specific, just divine masculine, feminine energies. However they're balanced and showing up in your life. So yeah, that Tower moment's going to lead to this. But again, it's going to be for your greater good. So keep on traveling down that path, because you got some good stuff headed your way. Okay, Spirit, final closing messages for Libra. This rebirth reading. I know sometimes like these readings could be, you know, applied immediately with immediacy. You can do that, or you could try to like, again, look at it as a reflection of your life, you know, before and after this year, where you're trying to head, or you could even just apply it to this year, you know, however you'd like. I think it kind of can work on all 3 levels, you know, microcosm, macro. Oof. Yeah, this is some divine shit right here. This King Zaddy right here. And not only you got the 10 of Pentacles backing you up, but you got the tradition right here with the Hierophant. This is marriage. So that's what's up. Libra. And you better believe, again, another 5. So you might want to look up angel message 555. It's that movie phone digit. Yeah, those 5s are their conflict, but that conflict, it's ultimately for the greater good, as is that union between the King and the Queen of Swords. Again, if it's not serving a higher creative good, then you're wasting your time. So you always want to keep that in mind. Have it benefit yourself as well as the community of people around you. That's all I got for you right now, Libra. Seems like a pretty damn good reading. Just need to, buckle down the hatches for that tower moment, depending on how big or small it might be. But again, it's going to clear away anything that isn't founded sturdily. And then it's going to leave you with resources to rebuild something properly. So, proper, as Michael Rappaport says. Okay, feel free to like, share, follow on all social media platforms. Links below to the Patreon, to the Summerline Drip, clothing, to the website, all that good stuff. Love and light to you, Libra. If you want a direct one-on-one reading, holler at your boy. Peace.